Hey, this is April Pierce, the owner of Shoals Healing Frequencies, and I decided to have a talk between two frequency practitioners. So I wanted to introduce me and Michelle is going to sit here and talk about what she does as a frequency practitioner across the pond in the UK and what I do here in the United States as a frequency practitioner. So, hey, Michelle, it's finally good to see
Hi,
you.
really good to see you. I know we've been talking for a while, haven't we? It's really nice to really nice to speak to you.
Yeah, so it's like I don't even really know how we actually started talking. I just know that I started seeing, you post about frequencies, you posting about frequency stickers, and I was like, oh wow, someone else that gets it and is actually doing what I do. So, tell me a little bit about like how you got into it and what software and stuff you use.
So about 7 years ago, my life as I knew it blew up. Used to be a senior project manager, and previously before this, I'd had quite a lot of health issues. I'd had a hysterectomy, spent my 30s on medication, no diagnosis. Then my life blew up. Not going to go into it too much. A lot of trauma and narcissism with my family, cut contact with my family. I was like, how am I ever going to heal? So many people said, you've got to go, you've got to have EMDR, you've got to have counseling, you've got to have this. And I'm like, I had counseling initially, which was amazing, really helped me through it. But if the really deep stuff, I'm like, I just had loads of alarm bells going off in my head. I'm a parent. I just had loads of alarm bells going off in my head. So intuition led me to energy healing, and I first had, I think, womb healing, which was blew my mind away, and also healing wise was amazing. So I really, really deep dived into energy healing. Very intentional about wanting to heal but not wanting to know the details, and you can still do both. I think we've just been told that there's only a certain way to heal. So I really, really deep dive into that. But then I kind of came to a point where money wise, how long can you go on doing this? It's not sustainable to just continue doing this. And I heard about the Healy device probably around 4 years ago, and didn't really know anything about it, didn't understand it, but I just knew, I just knew that I needed one of these in my life. I
So,
didn't know anything about it. I got it, and I'm like,
yeah.
what? No idea. Still, I didn't really have a clue, but I kind of got on with it. And just for me, one of the reasons is, if I've been through trauma, I've got PTSD, I could buy a program for PTSD that enabled me to go about my day and run frequencies, not having to face stuff, but still, for me, that was like, well, this is a no-brainer, this is a no-brainer. So I'm really, really deep dived into the healing, the magical world of the healing, all its amazing, amazing, amazing benefits. And I just feel that it's just helped me on so many levels. So many levels. I'm discovered that I'm neurodiverse. My kids are neurodiverse, and it's just a game changer. Absolute game changer. Meltdowns are less. Kids are thriving in school. I'm able to kind of see what's going on, by using the Healy, etc. Not too invasive, but just kind of see what's going on. And for me, it was just a no-brainer, really. So I kind of carried on with the Healy, got another one, ended up with four, but two of them died, but then miraculously came back to life. So I'm like, okay. So I love Healy's. I'm using it now. So I often will use programs on me. I'm using intuitive knowing programs. So like every month I'll kind of try and do, maybe different themes or something. So intuition this month, and I just loved it, just the ease of it, that I'm, any issue that I've got, ADHD, I'm in the menopause, I can get a program, things like youthful skin, hair growth, not only bad things, there's so many, I've got loads for trust the journey. There's just so many. So I really, really deep dived into frequencies, and just saw the difference between my family and started using it on friends, etc., and just was amazing. And then about a year ago, I felt like I needed something else in my life. I can't explain it. I just felt like I wanted another frequency device. I also knew that I wanted to wanted to start a business, but the healing I use on myself and my family, and that's comes first. So I was looking for something more user friendly, and then I got Infopathy, which I'll demo a bit later. Really affordable, and just incredible. Just incredible. I'll talk about it a bit later, but just blown me away, really.
Yeah.
So that's kind of been my journey from there until there. And then I just thought, they've transformed so many people. How can I not start a business? So that's where I'm at. So what about you? How did you get into it?
Oh, kind of the same. So I've been a nurse for this year be 27 years. And outside of COVID, I just ended up taking a work from home job in 2020. And basically I could do the chart reviews and watch TV while I worked. So I found that I had time to like educate myself on technology and healthcare and things that I was interested in, but I was always doing the 9 to 5, getting the kids, cleaning house, shuffle, where I never had time to really dive deep into something. My joke is with people is, they used to ask me like, what are your hobbies? What do you like? What are you passionate about? And what do you do for fun? And I literally had no answer. I was a nurse. I took care of people. I took care of my family. I think my answer was laundry. Like I literally could not come up with one thing that was just mine,
Yeah.
So I started learning about, I got on the Gaia channel, got hooked on that, started learning about all kinds of things, ran into energy healing, saw a interview with, on an episode with John White, which is the guy that has the Spooky 2 system.
Mm-hmm.
I had the same experience you did. I did not even know what I was ordering, but I like, oh my God. Yes, everything in my body was screaming, I need that. So then I ended up having to make another order because, of course, I ordered things I didn't even know. You had to have this to go with that. But yeah, same purpose with you. Like I started out for my own family, my own benefit. This was going to be my new hobby. Started getting some really crazy results. My mom had knee pain. She needed a knee replacement, and I programmed her some stickers for knee pain. And within 5 minutes, she's walking around the house like nothing is wrong with her whatsoever. And you scratch your head and think, oh, okay, well, that's weird. And then, you have another case where someone has this unexplained, positive result from wearing a frequency sticker. The best way that I could explain it to my customers was I would take the sticker and say, well, it's holographic. It reminds me of the CD that you put in your computer. So you know how they understand, like, you've got this CD that you put in the computer. You can save your grandkids' pictures to it. You can write data to those CDs. So they understood it in the fact that I take the sticker and I put it into a device. And then I submit frequencies to that remote, and I'm writing data into that holographic.
Yeah.
So they could understand it that way. Still kind of get looks and like I'm crazy. But I always tell them, like I'm not the physicist. I do not pretend that I have a degree in quantum physics, but I can drive the bus. I can get on the computer. I can pull up the programs. I do get it. And my nursing background helps me to kind of go along with my intuitive healing to figure out where we need to start at, what we need to look at. So it's been a really huge journey. So that went from having it into my home, and friends, friends and family coming in. And then I took out a massage parlor, a massage like room that was in a beauty shop. And then I saw clients there because it was getting to be so many. I didn't really want them all in my home. And then in October, I bought a building and put it on my property, and we have finished it out all, just me and my mom pretty much. And I've got
So
my
exciting.
business, and can see clients when I want and how many I want, and we can program and frequency imprint all day long. So it's exciting. I've also incorporated, the sound beds. So
They look amazing. Absolutely unbelievable.
yeah, so it's
Desperate
so
to hear
so to like have that sound bed there where you can pull up frequency music that goes through the sound bed. So your body's 70% water. If I wanted to put on 526, your whole body, your whole cells, every bit of your body is getting that frequency pulsed through them. Not to mention, I have the infrared crystal mats that have their own healing benefits. They have PEMF, which is an energy field, magnetic energy field built in. So I, combine that with the crystals, the sound beds. I have tuning forks. I know you do Reiki, correct?
Yeah, I do Reiki and I use tuning forks, and I will like charge water and use the Healy and the Infopathy. Here has I'll turn it on. It's PEMF, but it also has red light, blue light, and you can use both as well. So you can
Yeah,
use it on you. There's just so many uses to it. But I
yeah,
think at first, when I first got into frequencies, I was like, no, this can't work. Like, it's a coincidence. But then after time, how many times can it be a coincidence? And then I think, and then you look at testimonials, and then it's like, are we all crazy? Do you know what I mean? Are we all crazy? And when I've had physical pain, that I've not taken any medication for, that's gone, how can you not be seeing the difference? So I just love frequencies.
yeah. I mean, it's just like it lights me up. I could talk about it all day. Me and you wanted. This is the first time we've actually talked in
Yeah.
person. So it's just, it's so nice to be passionate about something. I'm not passionate about nursing anymore like I used to be. It has its place in my mind, and I'm grateful for it, and it does help me. But I don't think the majority of the people are satisfied with the options that we have. So
I agree with you. Yeah.
being a nurse, my job is to make sure that the patient has choices, and I don't feel like we have that. You get sick, you go to the doctor, they tell you this is what you need to do, this is your appointment, and this is who you go see. I'm not against anyone, getting chemo, radiation, doing what they need to do, but I want them to know that there are other options.
Me
And
too.
you
Yeah.
do that along with it. I mean, it's not a you choose A or B.
It's
So
yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm here in Alabama in the United States. It's also a rural area where people are not, it takes them a while to get on board with things. So a lot of our Reiki healers, a lot of our spiritual teachers, mentors, hypnotherapists, we struggle to make a living in those modalities because people are just not aware of what that is. So it was also my dream to have a building here to where I let the other practitioners come in. I don't charge them rent. I don't charge them a percentage because they're helping the community by having
Amazing.
and see their clients and show them what it's like to have Reiki and have an experience. We have a hypnotherapist that does past life regressions. It's amazing, and I don't push that on anyone, but I want people to know it's available and not be ashamed to go somewhere to experience that. And also, it's available for everybody, not just people that have a lot of money. So that's also very important that I make it very affordable. because I want it to be. I want it to become an everyday thing for people.
Me too. I like the infopathy. The Healy's quite expensive, but the infopathy is it's a lot more affordable. It's probably, with a discount that I've got, probably about £170. I'm not sure what that is in dollars, with about £9 a month. It's over 4,000 frequencies. I think I'm so passionate because of what I've been through. And, I've in my 30s, I must have been on every medication going, every medication, horrendous side effects, and none of it cured me. So I feel that I'm not on any medication. I'm so much better off, and the infopathy has medication in it. So, if I was needing to take medication, this water, I've made frequencies in this water. If I'm wanting to take medication, for example, I can just make myself some water. It takes 2 minutes, no side effects or anything. And the difference, we know the results speak for themselves. So I'm just really passionate about people knowing people knowing about these options, and knowing that, this is an option, to have this technology available. It's easy to use, and just the results are just incredible.
Yeah. So like we said, you can imprint the frequencies into the water. Let me show you this. This is my scalar. Of course, there's another one besides this one. But I'll take the loose leaf tea that I mix up and handcraft for, everything has its frequencies. So when I'm doing inflammation tea, for instance, you want to go with the turmeric, you want to go with ginger, you want to go with things that has the frequency to do what you need it to do.
Totally.
But by putting it on a molecular scalar, I can imprint frequencies for inflammation, for healing, into the tea itself.
Amazing, isn't it?
Yes. Now, I can't do that like we do with the stickers, because that's a different way. It's like transferring data into something. Yeah. Where this is a molecular scalar, so it will break it down into the molecules. So also when someone's in the scalar, like I have it set up for the building, so I don't really charge for scalar therapy. It's a quantum healing therapy. But like you said, if I had a bottle of metformin, let's say for diabetics, I could put that on the coil for the molecular scalar, and it will infuse that frequency of that molecular, into the energy, So there's just so much you can do. I don't do a whole lot of that. The tea is really the only thing that I've been playing with recently. Then, like I said, I'm doing the jewelry, and Heelys are wonderful. I just wanted something, for people that couldn't even afford a Healy. So that's kind of what got me into trying to take that sticker and make it into something else.
Me too. Yeah, this is why I like stickers, because again, they are really affordable. So I do the stickers. I also I've started imprinting frequencies on lip balms as well. Great lip balms. And again, water. I'll just put it on and see if I can show you it, and just see. It's just so easy.
How long do you do your imprints?
It varies, to be honest. Sometimes I will. So I've done. It depends. It depends. I think. It depends. Sometimes if it's sleep or something, I might do more of a concentrated one. But I think it depends time-wise as well. Sometimes depends. But I also. So I don't know if you. See if I can. So you can see that's adding the frequency to the water. So I can put stickers on there. I can put jewelry on there. I can put tea on there. I can put holographic stickers on that. I can use it on myself. So it's just amazing, to how quick is that? And for me, I just want people to know this technology exists, to be able to have their health in their hands. If somebody, if you have an issue, if your family or your dog, I think pets as well. I think pets are amazing, I think, as well, because I think sometimes with people you can get resistance, which, you can get a lot of people blocking it, not believing it, whereas pets haven't had this programming, and animals that have sent frequencies to, the difference is incredible. You know, animals that can be running around crazy, or they're barking when someone comes near, you send them frequencies for like fear and calm, and different dog.
I'm glad you're doing that too, because I had even where I got the material for the necklaces. I've even gotten them where they can be like dog tags.
Yeah,
So
that's amazing. Yeah.
The frequencies for those people that have the dogs that like are afraid of thunder and lightning and stressed dogs and cats. So, and then you can do like the parasites, the flea and tick. You can do frequencies for just about anything. So, yeah, so I've ran into doing some of that too. But what people that doesn't like the necklaces, I've even gotten like the little comfort bands. It's kind of like a watch. And so what I do, what I was going to show you, I have to cut these down. Hang on. I'll take the sticker, and you've got to cut it before you imprint it or you mess it up. But you would take the imprint that you do with the sticker, and I stick it down into this part. And then when that's imprinted, I glue with just a clear, like Gorilla Glue or something, the gemstone. Now, it can be any kind of gemstone you want. I like to kind of pair it, like if somebody had trouble with, love and self-love and heartache, maybe do a rose quartz or something.
Yeah.
But you're programming that sticker with the frequencies they need for that healing. It's not, you don't have to. So if they wanted to go with a different gemstone, they could.
You can do that.
But yeah, I'll just get the. So you've got your gemstone. These come in different metal colors. I do the necklaces for $33. The bracelets, I think I do those for $25 or $30. I'm really just charging for my time.
I sell stickers, a pack of 4 for £15. Again, I want it to be affordable for people. I also do. I don't know if you're able to do with your devices. I send a lot of frequencies remotely. I always explain it like Wi-Fi because people don't get it. But I'm like, your phone works by Wi-Fi. If you're able to send a text message, we don't need to know. We don't need to know the ins and out. We just know that our text message has gone from A to B. So I love remote frequencies. For me, the fact that I can be anywhere, I can send them to my kids. I can be anywhere in the world, I can send them to my plants. I could be on holiday and wanting to send my plants some frequencies. And, I love the ease of it. For me, remote frequencies are so powerful.
How do you do your remotes? Do you have to have like a DNA sample or anything like that?
No, not at all. Just an image and an image and address. But again, I feel it's all about intention as well. But just an image and address. But I always think, how can it work on just that information? But it just works on that information. Crazy.
The scalar that I use, it works off quantum energy.
Yes, yeah.
I can just put a picture of someone or their name and stuff on the scalar and send intentions with the frequencies through it. Now with the Spooky 2, it's a little bit different. You can actually use blood, spit, urine, or a fingernail.
Wow.
Yeah. So what I usually do is I'll get out of the bunch. I'd rather hoard fingernails. So I'll get a fingernail clipping, and I'll just put it in some white paper tape, like the little white circles. Yeah. And I'll fold it over, write their name and their not that birthday, but their information on it. And then I store it in these little pull-out things. So when I have a client to call me up and say, hey, I've got a headache, or I've got COVID, or I've got the flu, can you send me some? Because I don't want them coming in here either.
Yeah.
So I'll take their name, put it into the remote, like we did the stickers. Well, actually, I've got that one full of stuff. But I was actually doing remotes early. But I'll take it, put it into the remote. There's their DNA sample. This hooks up to the generator. It sends the frequencies to the DNA sample, which based on quantum entanglement. Again, they want to look up a video on quantum entanglement. We're not the physicists, but what it basically says is that, for instance, if they draw my blood and it's in the lab, what they do to my blood is actually going to have a response to my body in a whole. You're never separate from you, and that is part of it. So that is kind of how it works. If you have, if I have your DNA sample, I can send you frequencies for help you get, the healing with the COVID, for cough, congestion, pain, whatever.
So good.
And so that's been hard to sell too. But I try not to come off of it as a selling point. I just try to educate people.
Yeah, me too.
And just really tell them, hey, you don't have to take my word for it. Go do your own research. Research frequencies, research remote frequency treatments and quantum entanglement, and do your own research. But the most fun I've ever had is like having a client to call me and say, hey, I can't even walk to the kitchen. My leg hurts so bad. Can you help me? And I come in and start the program. And then an hour later, he texts me and said, have you already started the program? Because I just found myself standing at the kitchen sink getting a glass of water and I couldn't walk earlier. And it's like,
it blows you away, doesn't it? It blows you away. Like, the results speak for themselves. The results really, really speak for themselves. They really do. But I find a way to describe it as I sometimes describe it as if you go out in nature, you feel calm. Put calm music on, you feel calm. If you put happy music on, you feel happy. If you put sad music on, you feel sad. That is frequencies at work. So if you kind of take that principle, it's like tuning into the right radio station. It's like tuning into the right radio station for you. But why I love the Healy so much is it gives you in real time. It's always analyzing your information field and will give you what you need at that precise moment. So I could set a scan running, for skin, and it will still be sending me skin frequencies, but it might change as to what I need at that precise moment. I find it incredible, but I do feel that more and more people a lot of people don't understand it, but more and more people are becoming open to it. I think a lot of people are getting so disillusioned with doctors. There's I don't know what it's like in the US, but in the UK, there's long waiting lists, even to see your doctor. From my personal experience, I've been offered medication, which I didn't want to take, and I wasn't given another option. It's just like, bye then. And it's kind of like, for me, I obviously use frequencies, but a lot of people might not be in that situation and are kind of stuck with what you're supposed to do. You might need to go to hospital. There could be 2-year waiting list. What are you supposed to do within this 2 years? Put your life on hold. People go downhill. So I just want people to know that there's more options available. And why I love frequencies so much for my kids, especially remote frequencies, is you can be going about your daily life doing whatever I could be in the supermarket clearing trauma, don't know what I'm clearing, don't care, not bothered, it just needs to go, doing anything, so this for me is kind of, the way life should be, the way life should be, really.
It almost seems like this is the first step. Like if you put it in perspective for me, I would want to try this versus before I go to the doctor and get on all these stuff.
Me too. And I feel as well for trauma from a very personal perspective. I think in the traditional sense, you have to talk about it. For many people, for starters, it's reactivating the trauma. You don't have to talk about it because you've lived it. So how does, some people it does help. So it's not, it's not like I'm not talking from a medical background. I'm talking from personal experience. You don't have to relive it. There's other ways for you to move forward. But many people don't know that these kind of options are available. There's amazing frequencies for PTSD, trauma, depression. The list goes on. And also when you're looking at trauma from an all-encompassing thing, there's nervous system, there's so many layers, and frequency is like an all-in-one, and I think why I'm so passionate about people having frequency devices is because, everybody's you know, I'm neurodiverse, for example. It changes day to day. I could get burnout like that, or you know, I might forget something or struggle to focus, etc. And you know, I am in control of, if I have work to do, I'm able to send myself, you know, focus frequencies. If I'm in burnout, I have a burnout program that I'm able to, you know, an hour, 2 hours before this call, I've had such a crazy busy week. Burnout was like off the charts, and I ran a Healy burnout program, and it's just like magic, just disappears into the ether.
Yeah.
Literally. I find as well that you know, if you have arguments and stuff in houses, and in, you know, a lot of the time the energy can linger, and you know, if people are sad or depressed, or you know, it's normal life to go through, people are stressed, etc. I'll often use frequencies, which a lot of people don't think about. Their environment affects how they feel, and I'll often find if I use frequencies on the house, it really, really makes a massive difference to everybody in the house. Like if I need to clean, I can put like energy and job frequencies, and I can be literally like on the couch, like I just can't be bothered to clean, and then all of a sudden I'm like springing up really well, you know.
We do that as women anyway. Like, you know, your cleaning music, you know, when you got to really focus in and like clean the house, you know, we're used to doing stuff like that. So it's no difference, like you said, when you're putting on that, those frequencies.
It's just helping you. It's just giving you like a boost. It's just giving you a really helpful hand.
So what I've learned here recently, especially, is that everyone's nervous system is just broken. It is
Totally, yeah.
Point to that, they don't even like it's just they're normal, you know, they don't realize they're broken. So a lot of times I'll have clients come in and they'll get on the bed, and I'm really good at making them feel like they have a safe place. They can tell me anything, release anything. Like, that's what I enjoy, is providing that safe spot for them to exhale for a moment, to take a breath, to breathe. And I get so tickled at how many women live with daily constipation that they'll tell me the next day, I have to take, after the last 15 years, I have had to take medication to go have a bowel movement. And I've had to since I left your building, all by myself. And they don't realize that their nervous system is so,
it's like all wrong. It's so, totally.
That the things that they think they have problems with are really nervous system issues with your body. Your body doesn't feel safe. And, you know, you're constantly, whether you believe in frequencies or not, you know, you're living with frequencies every day. You've got Wi-Fi, you've got all these towers around you that who knows what they're, you know, putting out. And unfortunately, there's not only good frequencies, there's bad frequencies too. So by having a Healy and by having your own personal frequency devices, you can combat some of that. And that's all.
This is why I love frequencies, with obviously all the 5G, Wi-Fi, you know, stuff that's putting food, etc. You be going on forever and ever. You can't control all of this stuff, but the wireless frequencies is, and especially as a parent, you know, not being able to protect my kids, you know, is obviously, you know, really hard. You know, you'll do anything, but to be able to have frequencies for this to counteract it is just it's just amazing. You know, I want my kids to both, when they're old enough to have frequency devices, you know, that I want them to be having, you know, their health in their own hands, you know, so, you know,
gives them control, you know, you're in control.
Self-control, total self-control. And again, I feel with frequencies, I often talk about issues, but there's so many. I often find if you can flip something on its side, so say somebody can be feeling lack of confidence, you know, rather than focusing on the lack, if you focus on the opposite, it can really bring amazing results. Like if you focus on the opposite. And I love also the fact that there's so many. I sell one of my best sellers, an abundance sticker, and it's got a frequency called Money Comes Easily. And money is obviously for so many people, there's so many layers and layers and layers and layers and layers and layers and layers. So I obviously, you know, and if I'm giving a product away, it's kind of out of my hand, the frequency does its work. But I've had quite a lot of people win money, get orders, quite often with using abundance stickers. Just incredible, you know, just amazing from wearing a little sticker that something so amazing can just shift and happen like that.
Yeah. I had a client that, well, actually, she was a coworker that had the little boy, which I had twin boys that were like this too, but you know, having a hard time him sitting still in school and, you know, just all over the place, ADHD, you know, blah, blah, blah. And so I had actually gave her some frequency necklaces for her and her own conditions. And she had such a positive result. She asked me, well, can children, you know, use frequencies too? Sure. The only thing is we don't like to put them on pregnant women just because we don't want any blames for anything.
Yeah.
Not we feel like there's an issue. And we also don't use it if you have an implanted electrical device like a pacemaker.
Yeah.
But
yeah, with me. Yeah.
So I fixed him up a necklace and I used a Spider-Man instead of a gemstone. And she was just bragging about how well he had done. And she even said that she had noticed his language. Like he had a difficult with his language, and that had actually, his brain had slowed down enough with the ADHD frequencies that I didn't put anything in there for language. But she noticed that his speech was better and that he was actually better. But so if you're a mom and you're having to choose between, you know, what do I do with my child? Don't really want to medicate. I mean, this was a really good go-to. Yeah.
Game changer. I also find I am very, very passionate about neurodiversity, especially because, you know, we are mostly on diverse.
It's not going to change who you are, and that's what I like.
Absolutely not. But I also feel that I come across so many kids who have so many violent meltdowns. The house is in chaos, absolute disarray. Nobody's fault. Nobody's doing anything wrong. It's just, you know, it's just the way that it is. And you see so many neurodiverse kids nonverbal, which again, not even going to make a claim that it is going to do something, but just the potential that this stuff is available. I think as well for say a non-verbal autistic kid, or, you know, a disabled child, you know, might have to go through loads of therapy and appointments and have this and have that. Why I love frequencies is because it kind of enables kids to be kids. They don't have to do things. They don't have to go speak to a doctor. They don't have to have anything done to them. It can just all be run in the background, or they drink some water, you know, and they go about their daily life, which is how it should be. Really is how it should be.
It was really hard for me to like even get my kids, which they're 15, 16 years old, to understand what I'm doing, because it is out of the normal.
Totally.
And what's really fun for me is that, you know, I'll go in there and say, hey, let me see your hands, and I'll just clip a couple of fingernails, and then I'll run it and I'll stick it into the remote, and I'm like, yo, you got a sinus infection. We're going to take care of that. I have to like argue with them about it. Of course, you know, you can't do that with everybody, but, or nor would I, but I'm just saying as a parent, that's helped me out to be able to like slap a sticker on their back. Or,
Me too. My kids, I think as well. I think obviously you must notice the difference with frequencies, that now if they're feeling off or they're not feeling well, they'll be like, Mummy, can you run some frequencies on me? If they're not feeling well, you know, if they're off school. I mean, obviously, if I needed to speak to the doctor, I would speak to the doctor. But often, you know, if it's a virus, cough, cold, etc., you know, you know, touch wood, it goes within a day or two, because I'm there with water, stickers, you know, just amazing. Just absolutely love it. But, you know, I've had a client whose hair had started to fall out, you know, and I sent frequencies for that, hair grown back. Just the difference that it can have to people's lives is...
and with it being so affordable, why would you not try it? I mean, you're going to spend so much more money on a bottle of shampoo. Why not spend it? And so another thing I was going to tell you is I've also done like the stickers and done like what I call a med pack, which we're not ever suggesting to use frequencies and never go to the doctor. But what we're saying, if you've got a cough, like I would do one for sinuses and allergies. I would do one for pain and inflammation. I did one for nausea and vomiting, like the neurovirus. And I had like stress and anxiety. I had like 5 or 6 different ones that were like your go-to, over the counter issues. And then I would sell them like those 1 sticker of each in what I called a med pack. So typically you would have a sticker for, somebody had a round of diarrhea. You could put a sticker on, and I just love getting someone who doubts it, and then they have an episode where they've had 6 episodes of diarrhea and put a sticker on, and they're like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I love that idea, I love that idea. I think I'm just really, again, like you, I just want people to know about frequencies and just the ease. And I love the frequency community, because everybody is about pushing boundaries, aren't they? Everybody is constantly like, what can we do next? What can I put frequencies on? What can I try? I feel that people are always kind of pushing the limits of what potential available.
The
kind of
thing about the holographic stickers, there's in the fingernails and all the stuff that we use. There's like a discrepancy of, like you said, how people ask me, well, how long is it good for? Or how long does it last? What I tell people, like, especially with the stickers. So, how when your CD for the computer, it got scratched up or chipped or something, it's not going to work. So I just tell anyone, if it's like been damaged with water, or it's torn, or it's just really looks pathetic, chances are it's no longer.
It's not. Yeah.
So it's I just kind of like look at it like a CD rule. If it still looks good.
I love that way of looking at it. I'll just open them. So I sell them in foil bags. So I've got quite a lot of packaging in them to keep them. So I just kind of make sure that people, if they're kept in the packaging, then they should last. And then I also send some kinesiology tape to keep it on. I've had loads of success being swimming with these. But again, I'm really wanting to kind of find different ways to put frequencies in products, make it easy. Lip balm. So many people use lip balms, face creams. You can get, a lot of people aren't able to use HRT for the menopause, because of cancer in the family. So many people, and the options are quite limited, expensive, trial and error. Which I'm not again saying frequencies are going to work, but to be able to have the potential of just having a little lip balm with menopause frequencies that you can carry everywhere, and then you might have one by your bed that's going to help you with sleep. Just game changer, and probably cheaper than buying so many supplements and everything else. I
do have a story. I had a client that wanted some insomnia stickers from me, and I guess I had printed him about 4, and so I gave them to him during our session. He put them in his wallet. We're sitting there, talking about 30-45 minutes later, and I noticed he's like,
oh no, and it's gone through. Oh no. Oh,
wow. What did you do with those stickers? And he's like, they're in my wallet. And I was like, no. So it's funny that I have to really make sure that they realize that the reason the stickers work in the first place, it doesn't go through the skin. It's not absorbed in that way. Everyone has their energy.
And it goes into your energy field.
As long as it's in your energy field, it doesn't matter if you're wearing it in a necklace, on your, if it's in your pocket. So sometimes if people that don't like to wear jewelry, I'll even do like a keychain with them.
Yeah.
And just have it to put it in their pocket. But he had put it in his wallet, put it in his pocket, and within 30 minutes, he was so drowsy, I was worried for him to drive home.
Oh my goodness.
I always try to tell people when I do the insomnia ones, I was like, don't wear them, just put them in your pillowcase. Like, just slide it into your pillowcase, like, because that's the only time that you're going to really want to use it anyway.
Yeah.
But that always cracks me up because you could just, see him just just melting into the couch.
That's crazy. I think I'm also, I don't know about you with this spooky too, blown away by the amount of frequencies. And there's so many people constantly. I feel that I don't think I've found an issue or a frequency that isn't available.
True. Even when you don't think it exists.
Yeah.
Does yours work? You just like pretty much use a computer system and type it in? Is that how yours works?
It's all done through an app. Healy is an app, two different apps, and then the Infopathy is through an app.
Well,
that's good.
What I've got going here, I've got a Spooky Central, which uses the highest, the way this plasma is like the most powerful way that you can do frequencies. So I've got, this one is, it's got helium gas in the glass ball. And if you can see the little strobes here, this is what you would use if someone had like a bad elbow, had a cancerous tumor, had something that you wanted to isolate to a certain area.
Yeah.
You would treat with this. There's another tube that is a elongated tube that's used for like total body. So I kind of use that when I'm doing like 101 sessions. Yeah. And it's also set up to like hook the frequencies to like gloves, to you name it. You can do the hand cylinders, it's kind of like a KitchenAid mixer or a KitchenAid, like you're making a cake, but it's like there's so many different attachments that you can do with frequencies. So that's the other thing I love about it. You can come in here, you can get a 101 treatment, personalized, customized to what you need. And then I like to send them home with the follow-up, which would be the sticker or the necklace or whatever.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if it's the same for you, but why I love the Infopathy so much is rather than people needing to have, say someone's got stress, anxiety and back pain, rather than me having to do 3 separate stickers, I'm able to use quite a lot of issues on one sticker, which is amazing if you think about it. One tiny little sticker with frequencies for, say, 5 different issues. Incredible. I love the fact again that I love making blends for people, special blends. I love for events, if people have got events on, sound baths, creative craft classes, journaling workshops, fitness classes. The list is so long of stickers and water that can be provided. This is why I'm so passionate about them. I feel that they really can be used in any setting. Not that schools would probably do this, but you could even make frequency water, for focus, concentration, just for employees at a company, stress and nervous system, just low burnout, loads of options. So I'm quite really quite passionate about providing stickers and water for events and workshops. But I was going to say something before about when you were using your device, about when you were saying about cancer. I've read so many reports of how sound and frequency is having incredible incredible results. Blows me away. You just have to hope that in the future, in however many years, that this is
a lot easier than the current treatment.
Yeah, totally. That this is more the medicine of the future, really.
Yeah. Well, and I know people will ask me like, well, what about med beds? And I'm like, well, you don't realize that med beds do use Rife and frequency technology in the med bed. Now it's probably a lot more things also going on, but I did read an article that med beds are, utilized from Rife and frequencies. The other thing that this system will do is I can do biofeedback scans. So like if you, which I'm not going to stick this where it goes, but it kind of goes on each side of your abdomen, but they'll come in and then you'll just get a TENS pad on each side of you. Those cables.
That's cool.
And then I can run a biofeedback scan, which it will send all the frequencies through the body and then come back 20 minutes later with a scan result. and it would tell me the top 10 frequencies that it found out of balance. So it's kind of similar to like going and having your car.
But this would like save. This is like, you know, when you think about someone who goes to hospital and goes for tests, you know, again with the Healy, it's got the same thing. It scans you and it tells you what you want. The Infopathy has got a voice scan, you know, so you just say repeatedly scan, and you know, interestingly, I used it and bladder came up, and then like a day or two later, I felt like I was getting a bladder infection. Really weird, you know. So you know, it's amazing that you've got this technology that can scan from your voice or, you know, from other areas to tell you what's wrong with you, when this could take 2 years if you go and see a doctor. Literally 2 years. Like, I love the Healy as well. It's got a coaching app. One of my favorite things. It's got an aura analysis, which it's incredible because amazing, really amazing. So it's all your chakras, but it's thought patterns. It tells you, so intuitive. It can tell you whether it's in your emotional body, which body it's in. It can tell you how much it's in your conscious or your subconscious, how much of an issue it is. But amazingly, which I love the most, it can also tell you and clear stuff that's passed down from generations, and it tells you whether it's an ancestral, you know, and the coaching. So, you know, you could go see a life coach or a counselor, and, you know, your affirmation could be, I want to be calm and happy. Why am I not calm and happy? You can put in the Healy, I am calm and happy, and I think it's got a wheel of spirituality, emotional balance, goals, potentials, family relationships, social relationships, finance, career, and it will show up areas in red, which are out of balance, and then it'll kind of give you a description. But it can be so spot on. And I used it before on my business, and I've got a lot going on with deciding what I'm going to do and stuff. And the area that came up was goals. It's amazing that, and when I've tried it and I've tested it, I've used it on my family and I've used it on this, and, you know, for somebody that would spend however long going to see a counsellor for starters, however much money, you know, a simple scan can tell you where you are out of balance in your life, and even tell you whether that's passed down from your grandparents, yours to keep in the first place. Just incredible, you know. But this technology,
having a discussion about energy and how things like that can cause actually physical ailments is a whole other hour-long conversation. But yeah, people don't realize that, you know, you just don't get your hair color and your you know, your build from your grandparents and your ancestors.
Yeah, people don't get it. Yeah. So much stuff that we deal with is passed down and down and down. You know, things like, you know, if your great grandmother saw your great grandfather being really lazy and had to do everything and was, you know, really down about it, and all of this gets passed down, and people don't realize it could be thought patterns, the way that you act, or this or that. It's amazing that frequencies, you know, just kind of I'm trying to think of a good way to so I often say it's like a bucket full of say there's like a bucket full of like dark, dirty water, which probably everybody has, that's passed down and down and down and down. And I feel what this does, it kind of clears the water. So you might not end up with really clear water, but you're going to have a lot clearer water, and you don't really have to do much about it or dive deep to find out what it is, but you're clearing the water. And also so if I clear stuff for myself, that clears for my kids and their future kids, which is just amazing.
Well, and I feel like it's stored in our DNA. So it's like it's kind of like going through your iPhone and deleting pictures you don't need. You know, it's like someone just has to take the time to do the work. And it's as easy as making that decision that, you know, I don't want to experience alcoholism anymore, so it stops. You know, that's kind of how it is. And I think that's great that the Healy is able to scan that and pick up if it's an energetic thing or if it's actually
amazing. It's got I love the Healy as well. It's got have you heard of I Ching? So it's like a Chinese tarot thing. You know, not saying it predicts stuff, but you can also use the Healy is just honestly blows me away. Honestly, the Healy. You can do it on situations. So I can do Michele Vale is calm and happy, and then it's all about intention. So I can then set the intention. What blocks are currently stopping Michele Vale from being calm and happy? What needs to shift for Michele Vale to feel, what needs to shift, what is holding Michele Vale back from achieving an abundant job? What needs to shift for Michele Vale to be a calm and patient driver? I'm not saying that I'm really angry, but this is what I mean. You can use it on, just so many. You can be able to use it on situations as well as other things. The potential is limitless, simply limitless.
What I've learned about my business is that I had this intention of just doing like frequencies and sound beds and, all these things that I've took on that I think are just wonderful. But from even talking to you right now, I kind of see that me and you both are walking into this era of helping people debunk all this stuff. Like you're walking into like a mediator, a mentor, like a spiritual mentor.
I think a lot of what I found is a lot of what we're told is we're told it, so we believe it. You might be told at school, you take this happens, you do this happens, you do this happens. You might get told by your parents, your teacher. It's life, so I think it's stripping away the layers of things that you've been told, things that you've previously been told in the past. I feel frequencies is going in with an open mind. The more you think about what is it, you're kind of putting the blocks up and the walls up. I think for me, the results speak for themselves, simply speak for themselves. I've had a tooth abscess and it was on a weekend. You know what a tooth abscess is like. You're climbing the walls with pain, aren't you? You're climbing the walls of, the nerve is, you are literally, you need to see a dentist. When you have a tooth abscess that blows, you need to get yourself to a dentist and you need antibiotics because the agony. I made myself some water of the antibiotics that I would have got from the dentist. So I saved myself money by going to see an emergency dentist because it was a weekend. So also saved myself money, saved myself having to take the medication, which would have taken a few days, to actually work into my system and get the pain down. A glass of water, 2 glasses of water, pain gone. It's, for me, I don't know whether I'm neurodiverse, I see the world differently to other people. It is just so logical. It's just so logical to treat yourself this way. And I feel it's simply educating people. I feel even though it's not a new concept, Albert Einstein, Nikola Tesla, they talked about frequencies, crystals, how I've the full moon recently, and I do not sleep in around the full moon, just don't. I find it hard to relax in bed and everything. And I think it was actually the night of the full moon, I was very unsettled in bed, and I always sleep with crystals under my bed. And I picked up a black tourmaline, and instantly it's like, boom, like really grounded. Mine switched off. I was like, oh my God, this is like, I need like a whole room full of black tourmaline. But what I mean is crystals have been around, I don't even know for how long, so long. And that is frequencies. So, more and more people are understanding crystals. They might not, are getting more into crystals. It's exactly the same. It's all the same principle. It's all the same theme.
Well,
in a different way.
Essential oils too. Like people are always like, "Oh, crystals are essential." Yeah. But it's the frequency that they have is what makes them good for what like if they are. Depending on what
herbs. It's like herbs,
herbs.
Mint. You have mint. It can uplift you. You have. Can't think of what other herbs are good. Chamomile. If you have a glass of, you have a cup of chamomile tea, you're probably going to be relaxed from having that. You have some green tea. You might, caffeine, you might feel a bit energized from it. Yeah. Same, all the same principle. I think what people don't get, it was, again, it's educating people that everything living, plants, crystals, us, is a living being thing with an energy field, with a frequency.
So you can either sit here and be immersed in frequencies without you having any say-so whatsoever, or you can take control of that.
Totally.
And so even with the teas that I do, like you said, I mix up.
Oh, I love those.
The teas, I've got one for every chakra. And I also have them, frequency program to help complement what it is that you're trying to heal. So if it was a heart chakra tea, it would be very set to those frequencies to heal those healing emotions. And then I also have affirmations into the directions as well. So you're not only getting a custom blended tea for that chakra, you're getting the frequencies that I've already imprinted to help with that. And the affirmations on the bottom for this one is, I invite gentle relief, ease, and harmony back into my body. And that's the inflammation tea. So I get it from all angles. Like you said, once you start realizing, and that's where that med pack, I think, changed a lot of people's minds, because it's real easy for me to say, I'm not sure if that sticker's helping me today, because you don't really know where your anxiety would have been today anyway.
Yeah.
You're having pain, when you've got diarrhea, when you've got one of those where you would reach for the OTC, in the cabinet, and you put that sticker on, and then your headache's gone, your pain's gone, you're not vomiting. That's where you make believers. It's like, oh, I've been vomiting for two days straight. I put that sticker on, and
how can you not be? I think physical pain is great for frequencies, but I feel as well. I don't know what it's like over there, but it's like a lot of parents are wanting to. When my kids were younger, I'd different person to I am now. So I would have given them Calpot, medication, stuff like this, etc. And I feel that parents are looking for a more natural way to treat your kids. I feel that a lot of more parents are looking for something. They're not wanting to. Why are you going to use it? Why do you want to use a cream on your kids that can potentially cause cancer? Why are you going to want to do that? Do you know what I mean? All this other stuff that's available,
Yeah.
I feel that so many people are wanting something, but they're not aware of kind of what's available, of what is available.
You don't really know what it is that's in the stuff that you're buying. That's the huge problem today. You might get,
and then it'll come out in the news. Oh, this product contains this ingredient, and it's like, well, that's sold to children. So again, I think so many people are just looking for a more holistic way.
I think me and you both have went into this with just the fact that we've been blown away at what it can do, and you would just want to share that. 100%. And again, it's just giving people that knowledge to make their own decisions and to try things and make it.
Yeah, I feel as well. I don't know if it's because I'm getting older, but life is really crazy and chaotic for so many people. The juggling work, family, cleaning your house, doing shopping, and then you've got life admin. I mean, self-care would be nice. Having a social life would be nice. So it's very hard for people to fit all of these things in around them. That frequencies, enables you should be able to heal. You should be able to feel good. If you're stressed, you should be able to take something that, if you're depressed, you shouldn't have to go on antidepressants. I've been on that. I've been on them many moons ago. And what I hated the most about antidepressants was coming off them, the side effects, the brain zaps in your head. But, I've read so many times that people want to come off medication, but they can't because of the side effects. No side effects.
And with the frequencies, what I've been taught with education I've gotten from them is that, let's say I use a frequency on myself that I don't need. Well, no harm, no foul. There's no, your body.
You get what you need, as in with frequencies, you
no overdose. There's
you
no
need to know how it works, but your body only will get what you need.
you're not going to have an allergic reaction to a frequency.
100%. Yeah.
So then you got that.
I've never heard anybody having. I've never heard anybody having like a really, really negative, negative reaction at all.
I've had people that couldn't use certain tapes to keep the stickers on and stuff, but then they would just go another route. But as far as the frequencies, no one that I have ever done in the last 2 years, any frequencies for, has ever come back
had me too.
and told me they had a negative reaction to something.
I think cost-wise as well, since I've been using frequencies, so I'm in the surgical menopause, I must have spent hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of supplements and this and that, and, so just a lot of money on stuff, basically. And I've recently had back issues, which frequencies is the only thing that's actually totally got rid of it. And I went to see an osteopath, I went to see a physio, went to see a chiropractor, and each time, this is probably about 60, 70 pounds. I'm not sure what it is in dollars. Each time everybody told me something different. I was left in agony. No, it didn't move forward, was left more confused, way more confused. Like, you were telling me 3 different things. I'm in pain. How can it be this? How can it be this? Who am I supposed to listen to? I've just spent hundreds of pounds. I'm no further forward to knowing what to do about it. So I kind of, again, went to the doctors. Do you want to take medication? No. By then. So I was left with, well, frequencies. I'm going to have to heal myself. I have no other options. And I've used stickers. I've used water. I've used the Healy. And again, pain gone. How does that just, So I feel that people, will spend so much money, that they might not have on supplements, appointments, vet fees, emergency vets. If you have an animal that needs emergency vets, I don't know what it's like there, but emergency vet fees, extortionate in the UK, so expensive. And then you've got medication on top of that. Frequencies, just so affordable. It really is.
If you need to have your gallbladder taken out, the frequencies may not help, but
100%. It's very good to say that. There is. If you need to see your doctor, you need to see your doctor. If you need to have medical treatment, you should still have medical treatment, etc.
It's just so frustrating that you want everybody to know that there's so much that it can do. But of course, at the end of the day, if you need those things done, me and you both have had to reach out and had to have stuff done. But
it can be different
as much as we used to now, because you take control of your own health, you educate yourself, and these devices are not that hard to use.
If you did have to have gallbladder, say you needed to have gallbladder surgery, it would be a lot different, because for starters, you'd be able to send frequencies to help with your healing, and there's maybe detox the anesthetic or whatever. There is. You might still need to have the operation, but I personally firmly believe that frequencies would speed up the healing and
and help with like the nausea
and everything else. Yeah.
It's just a tool. It's
for people that have got cancer, on who are having chemo and radiation and stuff. There's so many testimonials of that. It helps with side effects. That is like, it's just a game changer that so many people suffer.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying suffer. I'm not saying you can take it away from them. I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but the potential of them going through this and not having to suffer as much.
Exactly. And that's what I think both of me and you is passionate about is, as a nurse, like I said, I know there's a place and time for all this, the doctors, the medicine, the hospital. But what aggravated me was that nobody had a clue about alternative medicine, and not just frequencies like Reiki and, crystal mats and crystal healing and tuning forks, and like that needs to come back so people can make their own choices.
100%. Yeah. But I also, in our, it's the NHS, our medical system, and very, very, very slowly, like baby steps, I have heard that they are more, more interested in maybe, alternative methods to treat things, very, very, very slowly, looking at more complementary and alternative methods. I have to hope in however many years to come that this is more common practice. You don't have to wait 2 years to get results and go through a million tests. Yes, you might still need to have this, it's not it's an alternative, but massive, just, really complimentary.
Well, I think we've pretty much covered it. I just wanted to get on here and finally meet you. And
that was great, really good. Yeah, I love what you do. Honestly, absolutely love what you do.
Well, you as well, and just getting this information recorded, and we're going to put it out so people can learn more about what you do in the UK and what I do here, and also the other people that are trying to bring frequencies to the forefront.
Yeah, totally. If it can help them
and make a difference. So if anyone is where they want to contact me, of course, you can contact shoalshealingfrequencies.com. That's my website, or shoalshealingfrequencies@gmail.com. And check us out and see if there's anything that you would like for us to do for you. I do sell and mail the frequency imprinted teas and the jewelry. And you just have to kind of have a conversation with me and tell me what frequencies you need imprinted into the jewelry, and then I can ship it right to you. And you also get to choose what gemstones and such that you want. And then I'm going to let Michele kind of tell you how you can contact her.
So, so you can contact me on Instagram. So my business is Lumo Wellness, which is LUMO.wellness. So you can contact me on Instagram. My email address is, I can't remember it then. Lumo Wellness. Yes, it'll come up. Had a dot or not. Lumo Wellness 44@gmail. And you can also find me on Facebook, which is just my name, Michele with one L, as you'll see there. Vale, Vale, and I sell frequency stickers, frequency water. I send remote frequencies. I am very soon going to be launching some lip balms, looking at some tinctures, whatever products I can get frequencies into, I will be looking at. And again, do Reiki. And if you are local to Manchester or in the Northwest, or if you just fancy traveling this far, I also do Reiki and in-person frequency sessions where you would get to use my incredible, incredible Healy device. Incredible.
I'm going to have to get me one too now, because I'm at the stage now where I just want everything.
It's dangerous, isn't it? You see another device and you're like, I need that one. It's like, how many frequencies? Oh, I know. There's another one I've heard about. There's another one that I've heard about that is frequencies for your food and water. So it's next on my list. I haven't really dived deep into it yet, but I am, again, with all the stuff that's put in food and stuff, and water and everything, hate it. So this is where you can take control of your life, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can't stop what's going in everything. You can't stop what's going in everything, but you can have some level of control. So that's next on my list to look into that one.
All right. Well, I'm going to cut this off and let everybody go, but hang on.
Thank you.
And I'll talk to you just a few more minutes. Okay?
Yeah.